Hi everyone, in this video we're going over some of the TCM Weaver best practices. Because we have such a massive database, it can be easy to be overwhelmed by all the information. And at the same time, there are different ways to search the database, so if we don't look the right way, we may not find what we're looking for. So the first best practice I'll share with you is when you're using a search term with multiple words in it, 2 or more words, so for example, sunitong, if I type that in, I may get a ton of results. Right, 220 results. If I'm just looking for this formula, it's going to be massively overwhelming. Look at all this stuff that's here. So the way around that, when I have multiple words in my search term, is to just use quotation marks, because that tells the tool that that's one word. And look, there's sunitong right at the top. I found what I was looking for right away. So anytime we have multiple words, like maybe we want to look for sore throat, right? That's 2 words. But if I keep them separate like that, that's 142 results. That's a ton. I want to find actually the instances where we're talking specifically about sore throat, so I use quotes. We still have a lot of information coming back, but all of them, look, they all have sore throat, sore throat, sore throat. So we're not going to get results for sore muscles, right? Or red throat or something like that. So it's very important to use quotation marks when you want to use 2 or more words to express one idea. The next best practice has to do with and or. Our search is by default an and search. So if I look for somebody with cough and I type in also fever, then the results here are going to show up where they have cough and fever both included, right? 111 results. If I want to see patterns that have cough or fever, I need to specify that. And I'm going to use a capital OR and a space. See, now I have 736 results. This is still way too much. We'd need to filter this down pretty heavily to get usable information, but we're starting with a very big data set. So I'm just going to do this again so you can see the difference. If I get rid of that or, I take that out, now the tool thinks I want to find everything that's got cough and fever. So I have 111 results. When I add the or back in, it expands the search to show either of those, and now I've got way more results to look at. So we need to understand the and the or. The next best practice has to do with formula ingredients. So if I'm looking for xiaoyaosan, I'm going to use quotes because it's multiple words. There it is. And I'm just going to open that up. And I've got my xiaoyaosan here. And I can see actually chaihu dongui, chao dongui is what's called for. There's a paozhi there. And bai xiao is the form of xiaoyao, baiju fuling, and zhi gansao, that's the paozhi. Now if we look at the graph view, as you're going around, I'm going to expand this out with my wander mode. And I just want to see the ingredients. So I'm going to filter this. And I'm going to turn off everything that's not a formula or a single herb. This will be a lot cleaner to see. So now here I have xiaoyaosan, and I'll just zoom in a bit so we can get a good look. And we have all of our ingredients laid out. But what we don't see, we see gansao, but what we don't see is zhi gansao, right? We see dongui, but we don't see chao dongui. This is like this for every formula. So you're going to want to, even when you're going around and hunting for your formulas and looking at differentials, once you get a formula you like, you're going to want to make sure you click on that formula. And then these lines here takes us to our little note preview on the left. And that's where you can double check the paozhis and all the little specifics about the ingredients. So don't just go off of what you see on the graph. Make sure you're exploring a little bit more deeply as well. It's also important to note that TCM Weaver is not a replacement for your critical thinking skills, right? You've still got to be a physician. There's a lot of talk these days about AI and having essentially the self-driving car, right? Where it can just take you from place to place and you can just tune out and read the newspaper or whatever. That's not this. You still have to have a hand on the wheel. And in fact, there's this other idea called human in the loop. That's what HITL stands for, human in the loop. And that's when you have these systems where there's still a human paying attention to what's going on. And that's what's going on here. We can't just type things in here and just hope for the best. We need to use our brain, use our critical thinking, use pattern differentiation, right? But this tool is going to supercharge you. So just be aware that there may be typos. Always double check with other reference material. There may be red flags you need to pay attention to. Make your own clinical decisions. There could be contraindications. There may be some that aren't even listed here. We've done a lot of due diligence to make sure that herbs that are contraindicated during pregnancy or for infants or for active cancer, all that stuff's tagged and noted, but there may be something that slips through the cracks. So you still have to use your own responsibility and your own good judgment. Drug-herb interactions, also use basic common sense as a physician, as a practitioner, and be aware also of food allergies and allergies to specific medicinals. We do have a lot of allergy tags, but we may not have everything. So you're always going to want to do your own due diligence and be a pro. So there you have it. Enjoy the TCM Weaver. We'll speak soon.